As a listener of Whoreible Decisions, I feel like you know how important it is to spice up your sex life. And that's exactly why Adam and Eve has partnered with us to sponsor today's episode. So adamandeve.com has a code, WD50, where you get 50% off of any item. And I just used it my goddamn self. I bought the Booty Butt Plug Training Camp. I told you guys about it last week. And I just used it. It's anal dilators. I'm on the middle piece. My asshole's like totally spreading open now for some dick. It's fucking amazing. I just want to tell you guys about some other stuff I ordered. I ordered some pleasure tape. It's a little bit safer than handcuffs, right? It sticks to itself. And I also got a pocket pussy for someone. I'm super excited to use it on him. It's a great thing to masturbate with. It has ridges in it. It's fucking amazing. It's super dope. Use WD50, all right? adamandeve.com. Show your support for the show. Go and explore. Today's episode is all about BDSM and submission and dominance. They even have a book on there if you type in BDSM that will kind of just be your guide into getting into it. But I want you guys to go on there, find a sex toy you like, and write us. Tell us how it was. We want you to have a horrible time. adamandeve.com, code WD50. Show your support for the show.
What's up? Welcome to the show. I really wanted to start Keke. Do you love me?
We all did.
Are you ready?
I put it almost like in there, and I was like, I feel like we should take it out.
No, I don't give a fuck. We're Keke. Do you love? Clearly, y'all know our guest name today is Keke, y'all. But hi, welcome to yet another episode of Whoreible Decisions. This is your girl Mandy B.
I'm Wheezy,
and we are joined today by a wonderful person. It's crazy because y'all think we Keke. Kinky Keke, if I can say that. Her Twitter name and Instagram name has kink in it.
Kinks with Keke.
Kinks with Keke is who we are joined by today.
What the fuck is that?
What?
Oh, I saw a hand behind.
There's a statue. What you thought it was? A dildo?
I mean, I didn't know she brought a prop. Did you?
I did not.
This ain't your prop, right?
No.
Okay,
I just don't know. Like, you know, your Instagram is like on some level that I can't understand.
Okay.
I mean, not understand. I can't be as open with.
Yeah.
Even though I'm into everything.
Gotcha.
You are super. So I guess before we start and before we get into our icebreaker, we kind of like to introduce, So do you want to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Keke. Like they said, I am Kinks with Keke on Tumblr, Instagram,
you
Twitter.
Tumblr? You must post some nasty shit.
Tumblr is like Pornhub, low key. Like,
it is.
I'm not gonna lie. I go in there and there's like certain people that I watch and they have actual Tumblr. They be having full out sex on Tumblr, bro.
My best info from Tumblr.
If you want good amateur porn, guys, this is just create a Tumblr account.
Actually, when Mandy and I were talking about like social media strategy and stuff for Whoreible Decisions, we talked about Tumblr, and I was like, I've never really used Tumblr, and I got on there, I was like, oh, I can't handle this.
Yeah,
niggas gonna be like, show your fucking pussy, bitch.
Yeah, that's basically what they do.
No,
so you
seriously.
have to you have to really be careful about it because people are like running your DMs and be like, dick pic.
I'm like, what? They running our DMs on Instagram with dick pics.
I don't mind.
That's why I was private.
Mail. I just like don't expect me to respond to it.
I've had
and don't send me your dick multiple times. If I didn't respond to the first dick, the third dick ain't gonna get me to respond either.
Yeah.
We have had a guest on this show, I'll tell you later, Mandy, that keeps sending me their penis.
Oh my
because
God.
I have one too, but it doesn't count. So I will say,
you have a guest on the show that sending you
but he doesn't really send me his dick. So
my God, he's the same person.
No, King Noir sends me a lot of his videos.
That don't count, bitch. He's a porn star.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna lie, I'll take it.
I love him though.
His dick is beautiful.
I am so mad.
I be like,
why wasn't I was in
dick
Japan when y'all recorded, and like, so we didn't really do much video at that time.
Yeah,
but like once I saw the clips and the props he brought, I'm like, first of all, I'm the sub.
Yeah. She got so jealous. But we're gonna have King Noir again on whenever he comes back up here. But his dick is beautiful.
Yeah,
but now I want to know what dick is it? A brown dick? Well, that doesn't help because we only had one white dick.
I gotta tell you.
Is it a light skinned dick or a dark skinned dick?
Let me just type it in.
Oh wait, is a dick that I care about?
Don't say anything that lets people know who this is.
Hold on, who is it?
A dick that I care about.
Oh, that sounds surprising. Okay. Well,
right.
But that's honestly surprising. Is it big?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Is it really his dick? But he got
exactly.
But he got big dick energy. So he got that BDE. That's what we call it now. Big dick energy.
So it was like I was just chilling one day talking about on Instagram how I was like having a bad day, and this nigga was like,
"Here goes my dick." No, bro. That's supposed to make you better?
I honestly wrote back LOL.
Oh shit!
Wait, that was your response? And he's still sending you dick pics?
Bro, he just be sending me like dick
persistent as
pics
fuck.
or like him fucking and just be like, because I think he just knows that, and I really appreciate it.
That's okay. Well, we're not gonna keep talking about it because I feel like everybody gonna start guessing now, and they probably gonna get it right.
It's not who you think it is.
It's not who you think it is. Okay, so with Kinks with Keke, where does the name come from? Why are you Kinks with Keke?
So, because of my name, one of my nicknames is Keke. Kinks because I'm into virtually everything. So,
Yes, virtually everything. Me too, sis.
What do you do digitally? What the
so like, it's like, it talks about all types of kinks because I'm into a lot of kinky shit. I was in a BDSM relationship for almost 3 years.
Yes.
By the way, Keke is black.
Yes, I am.
I just want y'all to know that.
Because
y'all
don't think that this is white people shit.
They always
Black
say
women
I'm
do
on
it
some
too.
WPS.
Well, we got video now, so they can see. Sis got the cut life haircut and everything.
Yes. My stylist in Brooklyn, she lit.
So you have a show as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so
Very new. I just started maybe like a month and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Congrats.
each week, thank you. Each week I talk about a different kink.
Yes. Oh, so you're like us. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Great. All right. Cool.
Bitch.
You know, wonder where you got that
But
idea
it's like
from.
really, it gets gory because I'm going to eventually talk about like knife play and blood play. Like, yeah.
Wait, oh, you're into that.
No.
But it's
I'm
still
curious
kink.
about
Okay.
it. Is.
So
I'm curious
one
about knife
episode
play.
each week is surrounded by a total, like one.
A completely different
Cool.
kink.
And it's the
Yeah.
whole episode that's specific.
And I'm by
to that.
myself, so it's
Okay.
like it's really quick. I talk about like shit's going on with me for the week, my mood of the week, and then I talk about the kink. And if I have experience, I'll give like the full detailed story about.
I listened to
my
one today,
experience.
The Submissive Feminist. I didn't listen the whole way through, but I want to say I really applaud you for being alone on a podcast because
Yeah,
Yes,
I
you
get a
done
very
lot.
underrated thing to do. And one of the most successful podcasts I know is Lovecast by Dan Savage. I quote him a lot on the show with the monogamous
Yeah.
thing. He does it alone and is so good. And sometimes I walk into the studio when, like, you know, me and Mandy have conflicting
Yeah.
schedules alone, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Right.
And we still have guests. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's for you to sit there with your setup, with your mic, and just talk without input from someone
Yeah.
else. Like, I know that could be just hard. I feel like that's why I don't do Instagram videos. Because
I was gonna say, it's like Insta Live,
Insta Live,
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Like,
Like,
Insta
it's
Live, you still have the interaction with other people, too.
true.
But
But it
that's who you're
helps.
talking to. Yeah.
Like that helps. It just helps because I know what I'm talking about because a lot of it is based around my experience. So I'm like, oh, let me tell you what I did and how I handled this and what I did. And
But Keke, that's a great way to do a podcast because, I mean, shit, we have to split money.
yeah.
To be 100, like, think about if
Yeah.
you fucking blow up, you got to do your own shit by yourself.
Yeah.
That's an awesome thing to do. I mean, I think another thing too with,
But she also doing all the expenses.
that is true.
right.
So,
But no, but like doing something
By
like that
herself.
though, it's very nice to have one person with one thought and then you just kind of bring in the guests
Right.
as you please. Because me and Mandy think two different ways, which is
Yeah.
what
way
gives,
different.
which is what gives like the variety on the show. But if I'm
Right.
coming for kink, that's kind of all I want, bro.
Yeah.
Tell me about this shit.
It's cool. So I guess we're gonna go through with our icebreakers, even though you kinky and shit, and we ain't even really got to break the ice with your ass. We gonna go ahead and break the ice.
I only have two questions for you.
Okay, well then I'll probably think of another one. Just
I
randomly.
only have these two questions because I feel like they could be stories and I really want them. Have you ever tasted yourself? And I ask you this because I want to know if someone's made you and how that kind of...
I have.
And in what way? Like
Me fingering myself, him
Same.
fingering me, her fingering me.
hey,
That's what's up. Have you ever had to been told to taste someone else?
Yes. Him, her, the other her. Like, it was because I was in, like, it was almost like polyamorous, but not really. But he had multiple subs. And we eventually, like, transferred into sex slaves. Like, it's like it's levels.
yeah, we gonna get into
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
I'm like,
don't,
goddamn.
don't give it too much. Don't give it too much. There's levels to this show.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're
Okay.
getting there.
But yeah, I have.
Have you ever taken a hoe bath?
Yes.
Now tell her. I want to know, was yours a baby wipe or a sink hoe bath?
Mine was a sink.
I like
hoe
the
bath.
sink hoe bath. The baby wipe ain't really a hoe
It's not.
bath,
I've used
bro.
the
That's
baby
a
wipes
wipe.
too, but
Bro, that's a wipe
People
of the
bathe
pussy.
with
It
wipes.
is.
You'd be shocked.
Bro, who is bathing
No,
with
I can't
wipes?
bathe with
That's
the
not,
wipe.
What do
There
you mean
has to
there's
be
some-
water involved, bro.
Bro, think about
We're
it.
not
Hold
talking
on.
about the homeless.
I'm like not kidding with you. Listen, when I was at the sex party and like chicks were like rotating, I watched them just like wipe down, put the wipe in, and like go to the next dude.
See, that's different,
That's different.
though.
That's wiping like
Yeah.
your juices and stuff. Like a whole bath is like
Wipe
either
it.
Well, no.
What's a whole bath to you then?
Okay, so a whole bath, because I'd have had the two. So to me, a whole bath is either just jumping in the shower, but just to just wash your pussy. Like, so that's a whole bath because you're not washing your face, you're not doing the whole body. You literally just jumping in the shower.
Wash
your
spots.
Yeah. That, or you do the sink version, which is just taking a washcloth, going up under the sink with some warm water.
That's more of a whole bath to me because, like, if it's a shower, it's a shower.
Yeah,
but no,
it's a whole shower.
But see, a shower to me is you washing your whole body because you just standing in water isn't cleansing anything.
Right.
So it's turning into a whole bath when you jump into the shower just to focus on your genitals.
Yep.
I guess.
You know?
I feel you.
Because even if you
That's how I
hop in
feel
the
about
shower,
it.
you're not all the way clean.
Like, you have to leave the shower
you
like 5
actually
minutes,
don't have
maybe.
like a shower available. And you gotta fucking think quick.
Let's do the sink. I think the wipes, we have to make another name for that.
My
the whole
homegirl that I went to Woodstock
wipe.
with one year actually was about to get some dick. And the shower facilities at 4 a.m. at Woodstock were crazy, right? Because the festival's over.
Yeah.
And like everybody's trying to take a shower. She's like, bitch, I'm about to get this dick. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, finding a Poland spring. Let's get the water hose. I'm like, bitch, you better get up in there.
That's real.
He was fine as hell. And he was like, you ready? I was like, get it!
Yeah, I don't even know how people like have sex after like the club or being out all day. Like, you have to take a whole bath.
Yeah.
Or like even when I have to go like
niggas be knowing too.
Like I'm
Can I use the
bathroom? I was about to say, bitch, I gotta go to the bathroom, and it's not because I
be smelling like what's that fucking blue Irish
Oh my god!
He's like, it is my shit. He having the blue flakes of my ass. And I'm too drunk to really fucking wash my ass.
Yes.
All right.
And it's crazy because there's like there are wipes and stuff for the bath. So you have the Eve or whatever that's
so
called.
I carry the Always wipes because they're a little bit better than the Eve.
Lamisol as well has
Lamisol.
So Lamisol is kind of what the Puerto Ricans use. It was actually what it is. It is like the Dominicans and shit. If you go in a shower and your friend is Hispanic, they got like it's like Lamisol, but it looked like Lysol, but it's not. It's called Lamisol.
Shit.
It's like pussy wash. It's literally just for your pussy. And a lot of Hispanics use it because they don't put soap down there. So
bitch, you don't even fuck Spanish niggas.
Bitch, but I'm friends with Hispanic women.
You like they were telling you about the fucking secrets of pussy Lysol.
Right. Yeah, like but I also learned it when we did like when I did the class on sex in my last semester. They talked about women's health and at one point cleaning your pussy with one of those things was looked at as a way of birth control. Like, because they thought that they could wash their pussy out of
well, we know. Well, listen, Latinas got all the kids.
Exactly.
So clearly that
does not matter.
Clearly that wasn't working for their asses.
I swear to God, one of my homegirls said to me, there was this chick wait, let me not tell too much, but we knew this girl. She had about 4 kids, and she was like, I'm just convinced this whole like to be pregnant.
You know what? But
because they get all the attention.
Fertile.
She was like, she gets a bunch of attention when she's pregnant. She was like, this is just a Bronx Puerto Rican thing, bitch. She was like, that whole love being pregnant.
I think
they got the baby showers. They love that party, and everybody knows Spanish baby shower be lit.
Yeah, like, it'd be a party.
It's a party for a few days.
She's like, her nigga probably don't cheat on her while she pregnant.
It's the same way a 1-year-old birthday party is lit.
Yes.
Black people. Why are we playing spades and
getting
liquor bottles for a 1-year-old birthday
at the birthday party?
Because have you ever been to an Indian party?
No.
Lit.
Really?
They party fucking hard, man.
But like a wedding or just a party?
Weddings, Indian parties, they party all fucking night. Bunch of food, just like they're colored people.
This must be different than Bangalore because my whole building is full of Bengali. And is Bengali the word? Bangladesh?
I have no
They're from Bangladesh. And
I mean, I've been to Indians like Mumbai, like them come Bombay, like those Indians, like they be fucking lit, my nigga.
Really?
Well, what they about West Indians? They brown. They know
black.
Food be seasoned. They be like, but in their own way.
Real quick, can I ask a question? And this is really, really off topic, but real quick, I'm going to squeeze this in there because I kind of had a problem and I kind of would like your opinion on it. So I just got back from Chicago for training with my new job. And of course, they had a whole fucking section on diversity and inclusiveness. So we're all feeling like we're fucking diversity hires. So this... corporate America. Yeah. So this Asian decides to speak in front of the crowd of all new hires, and she pretty much openly talks about how she's racist towards white people because of her experience.
Oh, shit.
But the entire time, she's referring to herself as a POC. And I just want to know...
She is.
Are Asians POC when they're the majority in the world?
POC. They are. They're... Listen... Asians have a lot of discrimination everywhere. Think about how we even I hate to say this, but how many times you go to nail place and not do the voice?
I don't know if that's exactly. But that's an
every time I get Chinese food and they get an attitude, I'd be like, right after them. I'm like, we are all have it in us. And I'm
True.
telling you. No,
But yeah.
Okay.
they're yellow though. But also remember this.
And they're very racist
But I was told
amongst
not to
each
call them
other.
yellow.
Well,
I called them yellow on Carla's podcast, and the whole room was just looking at me like, bitch, you just called them
Well,
yellow?
no.
You
I'm
can't
just
call
saying, like, if
Asians
Indians
yellow.
are brown, if we're black.
Can you call Asians yellow?
You're not supposed
Well, I said
to.
it.
It's
You're
like
not supposed
sorry.
to, right? We said
politically incorrect.
It's the same
to
thing
call
as calling them
yellow.
chink, bro.
I feel bad
You
because
can't
now
call
my
them
mom
chink.
calls it. My mom's, by the way, my mom's late 60s. My mom be like, those Orientals.
Oh no, Oriental. I have not heard that word in
Right.
Oregon.
She old.
I'm about to say that's that generation.
Asians
Definitely.
absolutely are people of color.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't recognize that because they're fair skinned. But you got to remember, and you lived in Asia, think
Yeah.
about how the geishas paint their face white.
Right.
There's a lot of Asians that are darker skinned that face discrimination because
they
it's the lower
absolutely do.
tiered
They
class.
absolutely
And they call themselves jungle
And when I was in
Asians.
Thailand, they
Jungle
were
Asians?
They were
Yeah.
very dark in Thailand.
Oh no,
Dark
Thailand.
and-
Well,
the jungle
dark and
Asians.
I went
Asians.
to Thailand, Malay, and the Philippines had the darkest of Asians.
And
that I
those
went
are
to.
what's
And they was the
classified.
coolest ones. So fuck that.
Right.
Them niggas was the coolest Asians. I ain't like the little white Asians. They was nasty with their rude asses. Anyway, we
Little white Asians.
Sorry for our
Wait, I
Asian
do have one more
listeners. all
question
two
that
of
I
you.
didn't want to really include because I wondered if it was too gross, but fuck it.
Fuck, there's nothing. She's a
So
kink
I want to
girl.
know, have you ever thrown up during sex? And I asked that because
You
of
told the
face
story.
fucking.
Oh.
No, the face
I
fucking.
have.
Do you like that?
Face fucking?
No,
or
girl.
throwing
Throw
up?
up part.
No.
I was
No,
watching
I didn't
porn
want
and
to.
he made him do it, and I couldn't watch it.
Did he want that?
Well, he was a sadist, so he actually wanted it. But when he realized I was uncomfortable, he was like, "Okay, we can go clean up now." I'm like, "Please,"
Like
because
you threw up with chunks.
yes,
Ew.
Yeah.
And
Was he
no
white?
Sex?
yeah.
And where did it all go? Did you keep
I
going?
was on the floor, so it went like all over the floor.
Was it, girl? It was New York, so you had wood floors, right? That shit was
Yes!
easy moppable.
Yes!
These motherfuckers with carpets thinking like, oh no, bitch, you're not throwing up on the carpet.
You're not doing anything on the carpet, actually.
Your hoe on tile.
Yeah.
But
Tyler
yeah,
would.
like definitely, it was like all over the floor, and he cleaned it up, and I was like done. Like, I
But
didn't
he
even
was
wanna
turned
do
on
anything.
by it.
He was.
Nigga.
He was a kinky
Was he white?
fucker. No, he's black.
Dog, we talk. Black people do this shit.
They do.
I know,
it's
I know,
just
I'm
it's
just
not
asking.
talked about. That's
It's
the
just
problem.
the
It's
throw
not.
up part
It's
I felt like was white.
Like,
But
he
I'm
put me
just
on
saying.
to everything, and he was black.
I actually hate to even gag, so I'll like
Really?
hit the
I
fuck
like the
out of a nigga's
gagging,
stomach. Like if I'm giving you head and now you're doing it to
Yeah.
where like
feel like you're
I
gonna
feel
throw
like
up?
I'm gagging.
But gagging is what
I'm
keeps
hitting
it
the
wet.
fuck out of you. You got to move. There's a way to do it to where you can control the gag to where it's not a real gag.
Right.
But if a guy is literally fucking your
Yeah.
mouth and you're no longer in control of your throat
Right.
or where your tongue is, then that gagging.
Okay, wait.
becomes
But what if
uncomfortable.
you do it yourself and
You
you're
can
gagging?
control a gag. I don't get. I put it just enough to the back of my throat where saliva is being created.
Yeah.
I like gagging.
But I hate gag. I feel like I'm
Same.
about to die. I'm not finna die sucking your dick, bruh.
Like,
No.
But you
You're
have
not
deep
gonna
throat
die,
training
you know.
too.
I
Like
know,
that keeps you.
I do, girl. As long as
That
you
keeps
know,
you.
girl.
That keeps you from like that helps you control your gag.
It keeps you
like
from dying.
reflex too.
Okay.
It keeps you from dying.
It keeps you from dying with a dick in your mouth.
So let's get into the Keke of the week. And I am really excited about this. I want to know your experience with it. And it's
Okay.
something that I've recently been doing with Jeeves.
We brought up a couple times on the
And
show too.
we
so.
have, but we've never really described it the whole way through.
Okay.
DDLG, Daddy Dom, Little Girl, right? So one person is the caregiver and the other person is childlike. And it's not a father-daughter thing. But I have some quotes that they had on like Urban Dictionary that I want to read. And maybe some of you have been doing this and don't even realize it. Daddy, have I been a good girl? I miss my daddy so much. Daddy's going to give you a spanking for being such a bad girl today. A lot of times, I feel like even during sex, we're doing this play and don't even fucking realize it. But have you ever had a full-on DDLG relationship? Have you ever been, by the way, I'm sorry, they're called littles.
Yes.
So they'll say your name with little. Or
I was literally just talking about this. I kid you not. Like, I was trying to think of my next episode, and I know a little. She lives in Brooklyn, and I want to talk to her about in detail what it's like to be a full-on little. I never experienced a relationship, but my dominant, I called him daddy. Like that was it was either daddy or master, but that's neither here
Ooh,
nor
the master. We gonna get into that, girl. Goddamn.
But yeah, I called him daddy. I didn't consider myself a little, but he would say those things.
would he
to
call
me.
you Little Keke?
He would call me. He would actually call me by my middle name, which I don't want to say.
You ain't gotta say
No.
no.
I mean,
yeah.
Jeeves was calling me Little and my name.
The other name he would
Or
call
baby
me
girl.
was Pretty, and sometimes he would call me Little One. And I liked it. Like, I was not into
I've had
the
that
whole...
too.
Yeah, I wasn't into the whole, like, diapers and pacifiers. Like, that wasn't for me.
That's
like,
part of it, but I honestly always thought that was it. So, like, the dialogue that I had been starting, and we had been starting, he started telling me, hey, like, I was dating this girl who was a little, and he told me, because I like the way he talks to me.
Yes.
And
it's
then
fun.
I was, like, Googling it, and I'm like, oh, this bitch like binkies and shit.
That was
Like,
I'm
bitch,
like, is that an adult onesie? Like, what the
And
fuck
it's
am I
like
supposed to do
not
with
that
this?
serious. So like it could be like on the more vanilla side of the kink.
And it really is like as
so
far
y'all
as
are teenagers instead of
no,
child.
but actually the problem is it's a lot of teenagers doing it these days, and it is a fucking problem. Like
what do you
everyone
mean?
under 18, there's like the daddy dom little girl dynamic.
Because I do want to, I want to
huge.
mention that to our listeners when we're doing the talking about the DDLG kink. It is adults that are doing this.
It's
in both
supposed
senses.
to be
It's
adults,
supposed to be
18
adults.
and older.
18 and older.
Yeah.
And there doesn't even necessarily have to be an age difference because I find myself, even with my partners, where maybe I may be the older one.
Right.
Depending on how big that dick is, I may be calling him daddy.
Ah.
So I feel like when we're talking about this, even when we're
8 and
talking,
under, you ain't my father. You are not my father with that tiny little medium dick.
no, you can't call a nigga daddy.
Oh,
and his
sorry,
dick
we're little
not
dick
big.
shaming again.
Oh, so, they be coming for us too. So I told y'all,
Sensitivity.
there's girls out here that like y'all little dick niggas. We just don't.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The things that I consider shaming are kink shaming, fat shaming, body shaming,
Agreed.
and even to one degree, I mentioned on an episode with someone that I liked a tiny little tucked in pussy, and I felt guilty about that.
Oh yeah, we did.
This
get
girl
an email
wrote me,
about
and
that.
I was like, you know what? Maybe I
she
shouldn't
was like,
have
you
said that.
pussy shaming.
I was like, you know what? I am, but dick shaming, I'm gonna go. But
Fuck y'all niggas. Let me stop. No, but there
no,
are.
keep listening. I'm sorry. Keep being a patron. I'm sorry. We need your dick.
Guys, sorry. No, we have a lot of male listeners, so we don't want to let y'all feel shame. But when we are talking about this kink, for y'all motherfuckers who was out here dating these high schoolers that ain't 18 yet,
Exactly.
we not talking to you.
Okay, fairly. AKA.
What do you mean, AKA?
We was dating niggas that was grown.
We was dating pedophiles. We were dating.
I mean, no,
fucking
and you know what? I
pedophiles.
never was
17,
into fetishes like that at
23-year-olds.
the time. And I honestly think that might have freaked me out. Like, if someone older than me, when I was
with you because they knew you were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
would've
that's
freaked me
creepy. And he's a creep. He's a fucking pedophile.
So
Like, he is.
since you guys have been more on the little side, clearly I just call it if they paying my bills or got a big dick. So I'm not really into this kink like that. But as a little, psychologically, how do you prepare yourself? Or like the quotes that you just said. When you talk to him, what are other things that are said? What role are you guys
So I'm not
taking
gonna
on?
lie, I edge it on a lot, like, and so like he knows when it's coming. So like I'll say something like, it could be a random text, and I'd be like, "Daddy, you'd be so proud of me. I did blah 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 today."
So you go into your little space.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
A little space.
It's called a little space.
didn't know
It's
that.
like when it's almost like when you turn off the adult and you become that little girl who wants the approval of their daddy, and you want that recognition and like, hey daddy, pay attention to me and love me and let me sit on your lap. Like that's really what it's all about, even though you're adults doing this, but you go into a little space where you don't talk about work and don't talk about bills and money and adult shit. You just want to be with your daddy.
But also, like, I think what's cool about it is it's a form of submission, right? Because like sometimes they'll be like, be a good little girl, go to the bathroom and take a picture of your pussy and show me.
Absolutely.
Show daddy. And like it's a lot of them referring to themselves as daddy.
Yes.
And that's kind of how I know when it's starting.
Yeah.
Because it's never like, hey, can you blah, blah, blah. Like, daddy wants you to XYZ.
Right. Yeah. That's legit. Like that's exactly how it starts. If it's, I haven't talked to anyone who's just like, that's their relationship fully. Like, this is my boyfriend. I'm his girlfriend. Right. But like, I'm a little 24/7 with him. I haven't met anyone like that. Well, I did meet her, but I have to talk to her.
Now, can I ask you guys a question? Because I know your relationship, so clearly that's not the case. When women are looking to play this role, does it come psychologically from an era where maybe they didn't feel this with their dad? Are there daddy issues involved with this kink at all? Like, do you feel like it's related psychologically to growing up, or nothing at all?
No, I don't
It's
think
just a
so.
form of power.
It is. Like being a submissive, you want to relinquish your power to your dominant.
She says that a lot.
Like that's what it basically is, because like my father's at home with my mother. I never had any daddy issues. Like I'm really, really close with my dad. He's like one of my best friends. So
same.
Yeah,
for her, not for me. That's probably why I don't like using daddy. They paying my bills.
Honestly,
that was the relationship with my daddy daddy child support and giving us birthday. So all the niggas that give me money is daddy. Goddamn, that's all they is.
Gotcha.
You know, all because of that.
You make me think of something. I interviewed Jessie Wu. You guys will hear it soon at some time. Her and Sam White. And we were talking about how sexual trauma has affected both of us in different ways. So when we went on Brilliant Idiots, and I was talking about these things and talking about submission or being spit on or whatever, he's like, what kind of fucked up childhood
He did.
or whatever.
He brought that up.
Really?
And people on
It's the
YouTube do
stigma.
that a lot. But Jessie was talking about problems orgasming because of trauma. And I was saying I've had sexual trauma and am able to relinquish power and things like that and don't feel that. So it could be both sides. You could either really not be that sexual, be very sexual.
Right.
It's not like there's this direct correlation or that we're disgusting because I'm calling someone daddy. And the funny thing is with the DDLG thing, like a lot of women use daddy. Which
Sure do.
all the time.
Zaddy, actually.
It's a very
Zaddy.
I honestly think daddy could be as common as saying like babe during sex. Like, oh
Agreed.
yeah, daddy,
It
fucking
is.
harder.
It really is.
I'm just taking it a little bit further. So.
like every
You
woman
still
I know,
nasty,
in
hoe?
some sense, they call their boyfriends or husbands zaddy or daddy.
Zaddy.
Sure.
Zaddy.
It's a thing.
Zaddy. No, I do be. No, I do gotta, make it a little sexy and stuff when you say it.
So as much as like I want to keep talking about daddy and
I do. Let's get into the
But
horrible
we got
decision,
to.
bro, because we got a lot to talk about.
I don't know what to call this horrible decision. I want to call it black BSM. I want to call it sex slave.
We gonna maybe come up with something.
I have no idea because there's just so
Master
much
daddy.
to
I don't know.
Master daddy.
there's so much
Master
to
daddy.
unpack. You know what I'm saying? What you got going on. So I want to talk about your first experience. Can you tell us like how you got introduced?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it was 2014. And
You were how old?
I was 20.
How old are you now?
7. I'm 30.
Okay.
Turning 31. So I think I was 27.
Oh, this is new. 3 years ago, bitch.
Yeah, it's
All right, let's
very
go.
new.
Okay,
A
come
lot
on.
of shit has happened in 3
Wow.
years. But it was 2014. He classifies as a dominant master. Like, he's just that personality. He introduced me to it. And at first I was like, nigga, no. Like, I'm nobody's sub. Like, I'm not calling you daddy. I'm not calling you master. Fuck you.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about it because I was ignorant to BDSM. So in my mind, I was like, okay, so you want to tie me up and beat me. What's wrong with you?
You want to be disrespectful.
Right.
Right.
And
Which
he
a lot
was
of people
like,
think.
yeah, and he was like, no, that's not the case. And when he educated me on it, he was like persistent. He was like, I really want to do this with you. And I'm like, I don't know. So I was kind of standoffish for maybe like 6 months. I just got some info.
Wow.
Yeah. I was not here for
And as
it.
you know now, right? Like that's a big part of who I am. Like I
Yeah.
can go 6 months without being submissive.
Oh, no, I'm going to be fucking
And that's
somebody
exactly,
else.
but well, that's another story. But
Okay.
yeah.
The fact that he like held that part out.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
wait.
he was like, I just really want you to try it. And it like 6 months of convincing, I started in like maybe February 2015.
Well, even with the convincing, clearly, even when you were like, okay, you guys started out slow.
We
I
started
assume.
out very
what
slow.
What would be considered vanilla BDSM? What things did he do to start you to edge your way into more extreme BDSM?
Getting into the habit of calling him sir.
Ooh.
And I'm Southern, like I'm from North Carolina. So yes, ma'am, no ma'am, yes, sir. That's a thing. Anyway, so I was like, hey, but I'm looking at him like, you ain't nobody's.
Did you watch anything or like read anything?
I did.
What'd you
like
watch?
he sent me so many different articles and like from so many different websites, and he was like, "You need to read the roles." Like it was like rules, the roles of a submissive, and I read them. Damn near have them memorized almost to this point. But he introduced me with little things like you said, go show daddy. You know, go in the bathroom, take a picture, show daddy your pussy, or call him sir, or let him know when I'm going to bed. It was little things
Okay.
like that he could like kind of control. Like let him know when I was going to bed, when I was getting up, what I was going to eat, what I was going to wear.
Now, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to bring up this movie so that you guys can see this for yourself. It's called The Secretary.
I've
I might
seen
have
it.
brought up.
Yeah.
So
That's going to be the intro for my next episode.
Dude, it's so lit. So 50 Shades of Grey is the new pop culture BDSM.
Yes.
But what Secretary does, which I really like, is shows you everything almost outside of sex. Like we didn't see penetration
Right.
until the love happened.
Yeah.
So in this movie, she calls him, we just see this phone call go on, and he's like, a scoop of mashed potatoes, 1 pea, blah, 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 and then all the ice cream you want. And she's like, and that's all we see.
Yep.
And then she's at the dinner table, and everybody's like, why the fuck
Looking
is she?
at her like she's crazy.
But
Yeah.
she listened to him through and out for whatever he said. There was actually a scene toward the end where he asked her not to leave a desk. and she pees on herself. She sleeps there.
That's true
how
submission.
submissive she was.
Yeah.
And so what you're talking about is like outside of sex.
Yeah, exactly.
Things
Because it
outside
was
of sex,
before
yeah.
we even had sex. Like, we didn't have sex until like maybe 3 months later.
Okay.
But by that time, he had trained me to do, say, and act the way he wanted me to in that relationship. So it was.
I gotta do that.
We
That's why I
interviewed
be trying to give
what's
him
her
a look.
name? Lisa Spliffson.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
The same.
Who does sex work but not penetrative because she's the dom.
Right.
And a lot of people were writing in like she's a liar, and I'm like, y'all just don't know.
It was more like findom, but the fact that a lot of men, and I get the pleasure for being the dom,
Right.
But a lot of men don't have submissive roles in any part of their lives. So sometimes they seek being dominated from a woman.
Exactly.
But a lot of women, because we're kind of conditioned to be sub, it's
Right.
very hard for a lot of women to be dom or to hold that space with a man or to be dominant in that way.
Well, I consider myself a switch. So
That's
Are
what
you
I
a
can be
switch?
too,
yeah,
girl. I'm a switch.
yeah, I consider my. I had a
don't think I
submissive
am.
man before.
Like, I could maybe do it once or twice, but like, so that's not switching.
no, I
enough.
loved it,
Oh yeah,
and I was like low key sadist, so it was like I loved it.
How
but,
often do you switch?
yeah.
I haven't switched in. It's been a while. Like the last time I switched was like late last year.
And by the way, the term switch is a person that can flip back into the roles of being dominant and submissive. And I find that it's very hard to meet men that are switch. Like, I have not.
He was with it. Like he knew I was a submissive, but then he wanted to be submissive, so I just
Yeah.
switched into the dom role.
What
and it
kind of
was
submissive
everything.
things did he ask for or want from you?
He liked to be hit. Like a lot. Like he
With
liked
what?
to be slapped. He liked to be slapped. Like with
slapped.
my hand. He liked to be kicked. Like it was like so abusive.
Well, not only that, there's also names involved. So the way that you guys are, or he wants to be called daddy or sir when he's the dom.
Yeah.
So my submissive man that I was dealing with
Mm-hmm.
for quite some time, he's again the guy I also pissed on, but he used to like to refer to himself as being my bitch.
Okay.
So
And that's a
and
submissive
he would
trait.
like to, he
Right.
would like for me to call him my slut, my bitch. Like I
Yes.
run shit. So tell me what you want me to do.
What are words
Make
that
me
you know
do-
that are
yeah,
like
what other words
for
are
men?
there? Do you know? Aside from being a bitch.
I actually used to call him my little one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though he's like fucking 6'4".
Yeah, I was about to, oh, this nigga 6'11", sis. And
You know,
But, you know,
like,
like,
the really
I'm
cool thing
5'3",
about, like,
so I'm
big
like-
men that want to
I
be
love
submissive.
it. I love
Yeah.
it.
It's just like how they say like cops want to get their fucking asses kicked, and like they have that mentality of like
Right.
I'm in control all day, so I want to like relinquish that power.
And that was him. He was an attorney.
Hey guys, today's podcast is also brought to you by the Happy Time Murders. You know the world of Jim Henson, but discover what happens on the other side of the street in the most outrageous R-rated comedy of the summer. I'm super excited to see this movie. I saw the previews and I was dying. Brian Henson, the son of Jim Henson and director of The Muppets Christmas Carol and Muppets Treasure Island, brings us the very R-rated Happy Time Murders, starring Melissa McCarthy as a foul-mouthed detective in a world where puppets and humans coexist. I don't know if I can imagine that, but looking at the previews, I thought it was freaking cute. It's a place where puppets interact with humans in a very adult, sometimes shocking, and ultimately hilarious way. In the Happy Time Murders, Detective Connie Edwards teams up with her puppet partner, Phil Phillips, and goes into the seedy underbelly of Los Angeles to find out who's behind a series of puppet murders. The Happy Time Murders is unapologetically outrageous and co-stars comedy all-stars such as Maya Rudolph, Elizabeth Banks, and Joel McHale. These puppets are no Sesame, all street. See the Happy Time Murders in theaters August 24th. Check it out. Don't forget it. Let us know how you think about it. And let's get back to the show. I was about to say politicians be the main ones that be out here paying for girls to do that.
So every time I
looking
say
for
peg
somebody?
now, I swear to God, we did this live show. And
Girl, I think pegging is just, our name should be changed to
Pegasus.
Pegging Decisions.
No, Pegasus.
Or that.
Pegasus.
So we're at the fucking live show, and Mandy and I do this segment for the horrible decision. We brought out toys. I bring out a ring gag,
Okay.
and Mandy said, "And what do y'all think I have?" And the girl
whole
that's sitting in
audience.
front, shout out to Prelude to a Kiss, was like, "A pegger."
Oh, shit. I see that, though.
The whole goddamn crowd. And it's just like, I haven't even gotten to peg as much as I would like to, because I'm still in baby steps. Like, all right, so I can lick your ass. Yay. What about a finger? I'm still getting
Yeah.
excited for a finger. Like, not too many of my present people, like, niggas that are in my phone because I'm only really having sex with 1/2 when
I didn't tell you this. I'm sorry to cut you off. I was out and someone asked me about you. I went out. I'm on the train.
Y'all gotta stop doing that shit.
She's like,
what?
Asking motherfuckers about the next person.
No, like, I mean, you run into like, fans of the show and whatever. So this dude is on the train. We're talking for a little bit. This is like 3 weeks ago. And he says, yo, can I ask you something? And this is after me and him were talking for like 10 minutes. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, what's Mandy's obsession with the booty hole? I said,
oh my God.
your obsession with being so curious about her obsession with the booty hole.
So it's not, wait, first off, I don't like the thought that I'm obsessed with a booty hole. Calm down. Actually, and I'll
it was weird.
Well, I'll answer that. Because
like, out of all the things to say.
It's not an obsession with a booty hole. Though.
Right.
Like, I don't want to think. I'm not gonna lie.
That.
I do think because I watch gay porn so much and I'm looking at booty holes a lot in gay porn, like, booty holes are actually kind of cute. So
it's a new place on the body to discover that, like,
it is for men.
I've never heard anybody call it cute.
They do have little cute. Well, when they shave and it's a nice ass,
I don't think the booty holes are cute.
Call it a balloon knot.
Girl, it's a starfish. It's a chocolate starfish. And I feel like the thing with booty holes or my obsession with that comes from me being a dom. So me wanting to put a man in a vulnerable state. And I know that bending a man over or playing with his ass and having his legs up in the air, that's me making it to where he's vulnerable to allowing me to do that. And it gives power. It is. It's always about power.
Because I was ready for him to ask me, why am I obsessed with being slapped? Like, to me, it was the same.
But you have different things. You talk about slap, being drowned, spit on. You got a whole lot.
I've never been drowned.
I know someone who's been drowned.
But I mean, like,
yeah, she was about that life. Like, she was a human toilet. So,
and, like, just bitch.
Oh hell no, not
she was a human toilet.
And she was black.
She's white.
Oh, I knew it.
See, white people too. Oh, so now we draw the line. You want to be drowned in a pool?
I classified her as
what
a human
niggas do you know that's doing toilets? Tell me. You know black women that's doing toilets?
Because this shit was not happening over here.
The fuck?
Well, she did it. I wasn't doing it.
Toilet?
Yeah, like,
nah, bruh.
It's
she
still
liked
water.
To pee in her mouth.
Technically, it's still water.
Pee in her pussy.
Okay,
like,
with you.
she would open her pussy and have him pee in it.
That's the lemon pie we did with Dr. Kim.
I'm not about that life. Like, I don't want a UTI.
What was the craziest thing a dom has, or your like crazy experience? Something that you were just like, fuck no. Like a story that would shock us.
I was caned.
Oh,
wait, what? Like
caned, like with the long,
like
cane.
hazing, like when they haze, like
not a paddle, a cane, like bamboo cane.
And then he hit you with it?
Yeah, for like maybe 2 hours. Like everything from like
were you getting off?
Everything. I was, but it's kind of hard to get off because eventually, like, you get off later, and I'll explain how. Because when you first experience it, it just stings. It's like it feels like you're being sliced open, and you're being hit repetitively.
Is your pain tolerance high?
No.
Mine's not either.
Like, I'm crying, like, snot, like, everything's running down my face, and eventually you get hit so much you go numb. That's when the pleasure kicks in.
Were you only doing this to please him, though?
Yes, he's a sadist. I'm a masochist, and he was a sadist.
But you have to remember, so a lot of people are going to have your question.
Yes. Because I'm just like,
are you doing this just to please him? The pleasure is pleasing.
Yeah, it was pleasing to me. Like, I was satisfying his pleasure. So I was satisfied too. It's a weird dynamic.
You know, I just
like sadism, masochism.
I get it with sex, but a beating?
Yeah. Like, I was literally tied, like, basically in like an X, a form of an X, and I couldn't move.
I want to speak for Mandy. This is not judgment. This is amazement. Shout out to
But yeah,
you know what? I said I have a smaller example of this.
Smaller. Can we do smaller? Because right now I'm not.
70% of my orgasms are from facials and me touching myself. Sometimes I cannot. Maybe even more than that. Maybe 8 out of 10. I cannot get off until that happens. It doesn't have to be on my face. It could be somewhere on my body. But like, I don't know if something.
I'm a swallower.
So
okay, I don't see it like that.
I like to see it. Like, I need to see it. Like, I want to see it on me. I want to touch it.
Yeah.
I want to like put it in my mouth and like play with
I've
it.
eaten it off cake, so
you know. Yeah. You've eaten sperm off cake?
Wait, I think it's clits.
No, cake. Off cake, bitch.
And clits.
Wait, you had a nigga jack off onto a cake and he feed it to you?
We were just talking about this.
Hold on.
That's what I was talking about with Kaz and Low Key. Being fed semen.
Yeah.
Out of a dick.
And I was so fucking turned on from it.
Cause see, I've had a guy come on my ass or my back and wipe it up, and then I lick it off their fingers.
No, this was like
So I've done
legit.
that.
I feel like that's vanilla. We do that every day.
We do that. Not every day. Calm down. That's a special occasion. That is special occasion action right there.
Special occasion being fed cum?
Yes, because normally, like, it's crazy too. Because so I'll swallow, like I swallow pretty much every time. But
really,
it's weird because when they come on me, I'll be like, "Ew, you nasty." I hate come to be on me. I'll be like, "Oh, you nasty."
Meanwhile, you can swallow it with no problem.
Meanwhile, I've been swallowing your dick every time.
I honestly don't like to swallow because it takes out the joy. For me.
Oh
really?
no! I'm one of those.
I think I say all the time, bukkake is my favorite. But yeah, I can see it.
You do. But see, I'm also the one to where after they come and they're shivering, and so I'm like getting all excited because I'm slurping them all up. Then I keep sucking it because I know it's enough. And then so I wait till they're like, okay.
Oh, I love when a nigga damn near kick me off.
I love when they be like, okay.
That's like those like light licks when they're like freaking out.
Yes.
What was your favorite submissive experience that you had? Like just something that always comes to mind.
Yes.
My favorite was we had a threesome. And I know this sounds crazy.
Because keep going. You ain't even going nowhere. Okay. Threesome don't sound crazy.
But no. So we were having a threesome. And as my submission to him, he wanted me to dominate her. And he was a voyeur, so he just wanted to watch.
I've been asked this from an old
I like this.
That was so fucking fun. Like, it was so much fun.
So you were being a sub and dom at the same time?
At the same time, because it's like, I have on a strap on, like, I'm fucking her. And like he's behind me,
he was
like
directing
in my ear. It was so fucking sexy.
That sounds really hot.
That's like when so I had this story from a girl I used to date. Her name's Colette. I talk about her all the time. We were in a 3-way relationship. Now she's dating a new dom. So she's having a relationship with this girl she met. They go to the dom's house. He says that they both have to place their hands, and this is kind of typical dom shit, right?
Yeah.
Place their hands down, bent over, getting the spanking, and then while she's watching the spanking happening, he is making her taste the other girl and like directing everything that she's supposed to do. Stick your fingers
like
really
that.
deep, get down her pussy.
That sounds like fun.
And then like what?
That sounds like fun.
It does.
Oh, you were shaking your head. You're like, that sounds like fun.
I know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just
she don't know how to feel right now. She's like,
I'm mad. I'm
what reminded me to it
now.
was the direction. Like she was having to go down on the other girl, and right when the girl was about to come, he was telling her stop.
Been there,
and then was making
like making her edge.
Like not only edging, but kept not fucking. Sorry, they don't do any penetration. But like then started going down on the girl who was doing the eating and making the other girl watch.
I like that.
After it was finished, kissed her, made her taste it, just like constant like exchanges of power. Like you could be a dom for a little bit and just took it around.
He was like, yeah, my ex was like that too.
It's so
like
hot.
he really was.
And let me tell you,
really
it's
hot.
not men that are listening. Like you ask us all the time about threesomes and how to do things like this. This is something that is I don't want anybody for the first time like that's done this. Like you really need to kind of know what you're doing. You need to research it.
Yeah.
You can. I've been with someone that heard that I liked it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you want me to tell you?"
Right, and it never works.
So I want to get into, because we've been talking about sub, we've been talking about DDLG. You actually refer to yourself as a former or probably present sex slave.
I was a sex slave.
So what is a sex slave?
So with submission, you have a little bit of like freedom. Like you still call all of the shots when it comes to like big things in your life. And if it's sexual, like of course he or she calls the shots.
Okay.
As a sex slave, they call all the shots.
So they're your pimp.
How you dead ass, like they are, because they can loan you out to other masters and other doms.
Oh.
And as a sex slave, I always refer to sex slavery, and I hate to say slavery because it sounds so weird.
Sounds bad, especially as blacks. We're like, I signed in to be a sex slave.
You basically give consent to give up consent.
All right, Kanye. You signed up for that shit.
So like they determine everything. You walk in the house, master, can I turn on the light? Oh. Master, can I go to the bathroom? Master, can I cook? He's like, you're going to wear this today. You're going to eat this today. You're going to eat this much today.
How long were you a sex slave?
Maybe 6 or 7 months. We were in a dom submissive relationship for the longest, and he was like, okay, now I want to have complete control.
Did you ever jump out of the role? Can you jump out of the role?
You can, but it's not something you would want to do because you get punished.
So I guess that's what Dub's punishments.
It depends on the master or the dom. Like his punishments were like the drinking out of the toilet. It was taking.
Excuse me. So, sis, have you ever had to drink out of a toilet?
Are you allowed to have hard limits?
Yes. But you have
they
have to be established very early on. Like if you're going to go into like an MS relationship, you have to talk to your master.
MS being master slave.
Yes. Sorry. This is what you're going to do. This is what I'm not willing to do.
What are your hard limits?
My hard limit was the toilet.
Okay.
She's like, toilet.
Sis, not drinking that.
Scat play?
I was not into scat play. Thankfully, he wasn't into it either. One of the submissives that he had with me, he made her the whole gag. She was deep throat training, and he wanted to see her do it. And she threw up. He made her eat it. That was her punishment.
Excuse me? He made her eat her throw up back up?
And of course, she threw up again. So guess what?
She had to eat up again?
Yeah.
So he made her eat, like, she had to lick it off the floor? Like, how was this done?
It was on the floor. She was like, she had one of the...
Bro, shut the fuck
She had
up.
one of the dildos that, like, you know, like the suction cup.
Fucking hot in here now. That shit honestly...
You're so dramatic, bro. You're just so
I honestly
dramatic.
started feeling like I was gonna gag. I have such a, like, I could throw up on command, bro. I just had to throw water on myself because I thought I was gonna fucking throw up.
Disgusting, bro.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Those were punishments.
Did you watch it?
No. She told me the story. Like, I never... But I watched her do some... Like, I watched her fuck a wine bottle anally. Like, I watched her do some wild shit.
She did what? Is this because he asked her to?
It's because she wanted to.
She wanted to get anally fucked by a wine bottle?
She fucked the wine
what
bottle.
What is the wine bottle, bro? Sis, our ass muscles are kind of hard. Like, they strong.
But she was...
Right
she was, like, about that life. Like, 16, 20-inch dildos was, like, nothing. Like, and they were like, this... Yeah. Like...
Oh, I need her training, because my booty hole, I'd be like, no, there's a limit. Small dicks only. Otherwise, just your finger.
Like, if you know...
Even a thumb be too big sometimes.
If you're with someone who likes anal sex, then you anal train. You have, like, anal plugs. Wheezy.
Yeah, Wheezy's an anal
Wheezy's,
train.
like, so bothered right now.
Bro,
like, I'm done.
This is a crazy little... So,
only because,
do you know
like,
how
some of
many
this is getting
do-
into, like, bacteria. Like, eating throw up off of the floor. Like, getting me physically ill.
I ain't gonna lie, I have a 5-second rule for food.
Toilet.
So, we be eating shit
Not in this gross-ass city. I cannot in New York. Like, it's so nasty.
Like,
I am not letting a salt and vinegar chip go. Okay? Since I drop a
it's
salt...
weird because as a submissive, and I want to get into this conversation, not yet, but the feminist in me is fucking... fucking feminist in me is bothered hearing that, like...
It's an internal battle.
It is.
I know exactly how you feel because like when she did it, I was just
saying
like,
that about me.
Really?
How could they not? I would get leashed up.
I mean, I'm with it. I was collared. Like I got a fucking collar. Like which
You got walked with a leash?
Yeah. Like old
On
habits
all
die
fours?
hard. Yeah.
In public or in the house?
No, in the house. But I was collared. I wore a collar everywhere I went, except for work.
Did it have a little name tag on it?
No, it didn't.
What did it say on it?
It didn't say anything. It was a show of ownership. Like it was just a random.
How long were
collar.
you in this relationship?
I was in a relationship, DS for maybe a year and a half, MS for like a half a year.
How does that affect you
He
psychologically?
was fucking horrible. I left him.
Of course he was fucking horrible.
No,
We
can't say of course.
Okay,
But he was like,
okay.
You
he
wanted
was just
this.
like, he was still a nigga at the end of the day. So he was,
He was just trash.
he was trash.
But
like
how,
he was,
okay, because how
I get it.
Because wait, well, a lot of women refer to niggas being trash because they lie or they cheat. In this master slave dynamic that you had, you said he was allowed to go out and have other subs.
he had three slaves.
Right,
I was
so
just one of them.
Right, so he had 3
Did you live
slaves.
together? Live together?
No.
So he had 3 other
He lives in Brooklyn.
slaves.
He lives in Brooklyn.
And you were sometimes, I don't want to say pimped out, but you were able to be given to other masters.
If he chose, I never did. I'm pretty sure the little white girl did. Like, cause she was about,
don't do the little white girl like that.
she was about that life.
Well, most of them
but
are.
she was gangbang too. So,
Okay, so
like,
to be fair, like, I was going to say, I kind of think I can see how that's hot. Like, I've got too much of an insecurity to get gangbanged, but I've been talked to like that by my dom during sex, and it got me off.
Okay.
He was like, what if I just surprised you and somebody else came and fucked you? And
I would love that shit.
I would too.
I'm
but
cool.
like,
I'm down with
what
that.
if I made you and blah, 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 and you don't have to tell me about it or take a picture and do this? Like, that shit is sexy. So we're like saying it's crazy, but there's like...
it just depends on the person.
What makes him what made him trash if he fucking other bitches and can allow and letting you fuck other girls, and if he's your slave, he telling you what's up at all times. So what made him trash?
He was a bad person. You can be a good dom, you can be a good master, but you can be a shitty man to a woman. he was shitty to me.
Was that not what you signed up for?
Can you explain a little bit more than, I guess, about like maybe aftercare and how that works?
I could.
And then we can talk about how he was shitty or what you weren't getting or what you were supposed to get.
Yeah.
Well, aftercare was one that he kind of failed in because he was selfish. So he wants you to give. And then it's a trade-off. Like, even though it's a power exchange, you still have to act like a master, act like a dom. Like, you can't cane me for 2 hours and then go away. Aftercare is important because
what would the aftercare?
Yeah, those endorphins, like, you're on a high. You go numb because of endorphins.
Right.
So when the pain stops, endorphins drop completely. And you go into subdrop, which I've gone into. I've slept for 2 days and I was crying hysterically and couldn't stop. And we didn't know why, because he was new to it. I was new to it. He had never had a woman who had went into a subdrop. So
subdrop.
Yeah.
What's the subdrop? Is
Subdrop
this the psychological thing?
It's almost like it's the emotional part of, like, if you're in a scene, like a BDSM scene, and you're being whipped or you're being caned or you're being paddled, you're being tortured, drowned, waterboarded, whatever you're into, you're high on endorphins. Like, and you can eventually go into like a subspace where you can no longer, the lines blur and you can't tell him or her to stop because you feel nothing. Like, you're in a cloud. Like, it's like you're literally above yourself watching these things happen to you. So then when they stop, everything drops. So you're just like, a world of like hormones and emotions come crashing down. And if they don't do aftercare,
what is proper aftercare?
Yeah.
For me, my proper aftercare, I needed attention. Like, I'm sitting here crying and like snotty.
What was your perfect? I can describe my perfect one. Like, I want to hear what yours is.
Okay, like he would take me to the bathroom. He would bathe me. Like, we would get in the shower. He would basically clean me. He would bring me blankets, bring me food, and he would just be there. Like, we would cuddle until I felt better. And the next day, it was like it never even happened. But if I didn't do that, like, I'm a mess the next 2 days. I'm depressed. I'm crying. I'm sad.
I've never not really had aftercare. I've had some better than others.
Yeah.
But I've been bathed too, and that I really liked. Like,
that,
something
that
like
really
really
helps.
intimate that I saw in Secretary too. It was like washing my hair.
Yeah.
Like, everything. That I was like, oh my God.
You let these white men wash your hair?
You
be having. I'm asking because you have weave and tracks.
Okay,
and
I'm gonna
shit.
say this again.
like, what is that?
Tracks thrown in, but like, you think that I ain't got weave that can't get wet?
I mean, but there's a way to
Bitch,
wash
give me
it.
some
But I get what
I go
what
to
she's
the
saying,
Dominican-
because white men will be like,
I mean, there's still a way to wash it.
Like, am I
Okay,
supposed
to
to
be
go
fair,
under the
I
tracks?
think everyone that listens to this show should know well enough. I'm fucking white boys that's with it. Like,
Okay.
they get it.
hey, I'm with it.
Feel my hair. Seriously.
I mean, no, I see it, but I'm not.
like, I'm not
I go to the
in between.
Dominicans. I don't even wash my own hair.
Like,
because
you can, it ain't going nowhere.
The braids got to dry underneath. I'm not just letting niggas wash my hair in the shower.
I don't like have someone else wash my hair all the time.
Yeah, but it's just like,
I
it's
enjoyed it
nice.
so
And my hair is short, so,
much.
you know, they can just
Right.
wash my hair. I'm like, yes, wash my
I
little
really
bit of hair. It's
liked
going to
it
dry
though.
in
It's
10
like
minutes.
this full on bathing. You know what I mean? And then my big
It's the
thing is like
intimacy behind it.
feeding me,
Yeah.
like bringing me food.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, it's a real thing. Like, those two things, like, it's something about the bathing and the food that just makes everything better.
So
Like,
how
bring me
did
water.
this? And I kind of don't. I want to get a little personal here. What do you do for a living?
I'm a paralegal.
Okay, to where this kink or this lifestyle, did it not flow back into work? Because if you're telling me you were crying for 2 days or couldn't get out of the bed for 2 days, how did this lifestyle affect what you do for a living, in which is a whole nother setting?
Yeah. Well, anything that we would do that was really, really harsh, like the caning, we did wax play, like things like that. We would do it on the weekends, so I would have time to recover. But like, if I'm caned or paddled, just sitting down very slowly at my desk, because if I sit too hard, I'm like jumping back up. Like,
I like to, it's like when you get fucked really hard and you can feel it in your pussy all day.
yes.
I think it's kind of like that.
That's why I don't like anal sex. I don't even shit the
I'm here
next
for.
day
I'm
right.
so
Like,
pro
I
anal
don't want-
sex.
I
I fucking
don't-
love
I
anal.
walk different. I'd be like, they know I got fucked
But
in my
see, when
ass.
you're used
Like
to
a
having
pleasurable
anal,
fling.
then it works.
You know when you get fucked hard and you be like, I've texted niggas like, I still feel you in my pussy.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
no.
just did that.
You know what? We are really on some sub shit. I want to go back to one thing. I just wrote it
I'm
down.
just listening.
You, when Mandy
You're
was
so
bringing up
dominant.
drowning, we were talking about this fantasy that I thought, and I don't really know the name of it, where I like saw porn where a girl was getting fucked in a bathtub, and then like her face went in and out of it, like not like full on
That's
pushing down.
aquaphilia, no?
Right. But is it drowning? And then you said waterboarding.
Waterboarding, like
What's
literally,
waterboarding?
What is that?
like I want to call, well, I'm not going to call her name, but one of his subs was into waterboarding. And she was into the whole tub drowning thing as well. So
Is it while you get fucked?
he would have a Hitachi, like the magic wand, like strapped to her. And he would put like a wet cloth over her face and would pour water, so you physically feel like you're drowning. It's
They
a
did that shit
psychological
on
thing.
Scandal, bitch.
They do that shit.
That's like
That's the
torture.
government. Yes.
I don't know if I really
She
want
liked
that.
to be tortured.
That's like some real torture shit.
She was, yeah, she
Let me
was really
renege.
into
I
like
mean, I just want to get fucked and like we in the water and it's like, ooh, oh, too
that.
much.
Yeah, that's fine. Like
Heavy
I
on,
feel
nigga.
like that's kind of like, it's not like vanilla-ish, but that's some heavy shit. But like the waterboarding,
What's that?
They do.
That's literally like,
Oh, that
it's
was
like,
it.
yeah, like you put like a rag over their face
And
and you
put
just
water.
pour water. So she's
like
getting
suffocation.
pleasure.
That's like
suffocation.
suffocation.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
into asphyxiation, I guess you'd kind of like that. It's just like next level.
But you can like actually die from waterboarding. So you
can,
have to
they
be
do
very
that.
careful. Like your lungs, like psychologically and physically, your body will think that you're drowning and your lungs will fill up as if you're drowning and there's no water going into your body at all. So yeah.
But
Anyway,
anyway, her podcast is Kinks with Keke.
Clearly.
I want you to pub your shit as much as you want. 'Cause
Because
This is
you really be into this shit
Yeah.
a little more than us.
Here's something I want to get into.
Okay.
You actually, all the questions that I wrote down, we somehow got there.
We've gotten it.
There's one thing in particular that happened to me and some shaming that I kind of deal with on my own. So my first dominating experience wasn't with a white dude, which many people may not know. Like my first real, like over the top one, yeah, but like I've been with black men that have dominated me, and then I started dating white guys when I moved to New York because they're just all around, and like I was getting into Europeans.
Right, I don't even know where black people
and it was
are.
like fun.
and I work
So,
on Wall
Where them
Street.
niggas
Like
at?
they really are.
They
Like
done
they're
closed all the
literally
strip
everywhere.
clubs.
I'm
I'm not going to Brooklyn. Where do I meet some fucking
But
black
seriously
niggas?
though, like like in your
Brooklyn.
circle.
And I ain't going to
But now
Brooklyn.
it's more than it is the white thing. It's more like conquering the European territories. I feel like I be covering each one. So we
shits.
we had an episode with Marcus Black from Love and Hip Hop, and I think
It went south.
I put
real
it in
quick.
our top 10 because so we were flirting at the beginning of the episode, and he was into me and shit. And even I don't know if I talked about dominating shit. I think I did. But something came up about me fucking with white dudes, and his whole demeanor changed. And he
was
was like,
bad.
I can't believe you let white men do this to you. So I want to talk to you specifically.
Don't be on the Hotep shit.
No, it was. Like, you don't
Don't
understand.
be on the
And
Hotep
we didn't have
shit.
video at this time, and I don't think it resonated with people, but he this was him. And we got video now, so I'm going to show y'all what the fuck Marcus Black did. Oh, you date white men?
Whoa.
No. It wasn't more the white men. It was like you let white men
white men
do
dominate
this.
you.
And he was like, wait, you let them spit on you, then brought it into slavery and stuff. But literally,
Hotep shit. Like, no, don't do that.
Right.
He literally leaned back and was pretty much like,
Were you
all right, I'm done
fucking
with
five?
this
I was
conversation.
really
It was, yeah.
confused,
Kitty.
because I guess what I forget that people don't understand is that submissives ask for this type of pleasure.
Yes.
Right? Whether it be plain, it's my pleasure.
It's
And it's
consensual.
like,
we
I have
decided,
never
spit
had-
on me. I want
luckily,
you to.
because I'm sure the subs have maybe gone through, and I haven't had a bad experience yet, but I've never really been through something where I didn't ask for it. Like, I have been like, I've either had a dom mention some things and see what are my limits, and they
Right.
surprise me with those beforehand, or I ask for it. Okay, hey, like tonight, I want you to do this, 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 and this to me.
Right.
I mean, everything down to like the safe word needing it. Like, so I was very surprised that he just thinks white boys is coming and like slapping the shit out of me because they feel like it.
No,
And I said
I'd
to
let
him,
them do it.
Do you think even if I left the studio and fucked you today, like you gonna be able to do this shit to
Right.
me? No, motherfucker.
Like, I have to give you consent. That is the biggest thing.
Give the power to you.
Exactly.
And the shots are called on my end. So I want to know, because the episode you had called Submissive Feminist, how can we still be feminists and be subs?
Good question.
So, in my opinion, you can still have your reserves when it comes to like the feminist movement. You can be a submissive to your man. I feel like you have all the power being the submissive, even though it's a power exchange and you're like, I'm going to give this to you because I want, but you ultimately have the upper hand. That kind of makes you feminist because you're like, you're taking back your own agency.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm giving you the right to do this. My free will as a woman, I'm allowing you to do this. That's why I feel like you can still be submissive and you can be feminist at the same time, because like with feminism, you still want to be equal. And in some sense you are equal because you're like, okay, so we're going to do this. We've agreed. This is what I want. This is what you want. But just know that I hold all the cards here, because at the end of the day, they can't do anything without you saying, Yes, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to do this. So
I really want to like break that idea of
This was exactly like what you just said was so good.
Perfect.
Because especially back in the day, even if we just go into maybe before the 1950s,
right,
women,
it wasn't equal.
It was not equal, and women couldn't even say no to their husbands whether they wanted sex or not. They couldn't really.
A lot of people
that's
still
why
feel like you can't rape your wife. A lot of people will like today tell you can't rape
And that's
your
why
You
wife.
can absolutely rape your wife. If she
100%.
says no, she means no.
And that's why people with women with birth control, that was like the first stage to women taking ownership of their
Feminist
bodies
movement,
and being able to control what we did as sex. It's like, yes, we did this, but I don't want the baby. And just having the option for a woman to do that.
Right.
So you saying exactly what you said, insubmissive, because of course I questioned, like, bitch, you let him do all that. But I think that is
you have
empowering.
all the power.
That's
Yes.
very empowering to allow that. So,
And you got to remember
I
too,
really
like
like that.
sometimes I do it just for the after.
Yeah.
Like I like that shit. I'd be like, okay, spank me a little because now you got to like be all up on me. And like, I was gonna say, just thinking about it, I think Donald Trump was accused of raping his first wife, right?
I'm not surprised. Not at all.
Donald
He's
Trump
trash.
accused of everything.
I mean,
Exactly.
but like
Treason.
everything real fucking thing.
Treason.
Bye, Trump.
Trash.
You absolutely, just because, you get to a certain stage of your life, like marriage, I don't owe you shit. You don't have to fuck my ass. You don't have to do all these things to me. I mean, these are things that like come with my consent, me asking you, introducing, and me acknowledging. I also want to ask you, how do other Black women that aren't in the life view you?
Woo.
That's a good question.
Woo. Okay.
Sorry.
So it's all
We
good.
talked about shit and pee and throwing up.
Majority of my friends are Black women.
Okay.
My roommate, my roommate is a Black woman. So
Most of my female friends are Black women. Yeah.
having to explain, like I had to explain to like my closest friends, like my best friends, like, so I'm going into a dominant submission relationship, and they're like, bitch, we don't do that. Like, Black women don't do that. We don't listen to no nigga. They don't tell us what to do. And it was like, they kind of frowned upon it because they didn't know. And I was kind of in that same boat when I first like was introduced to it. I'm like, you're not doing that to me. I don't know you like that.
Yeah.
When I explained it to them in detail, like I had to physically sit my friends down and was like, this is what I'm going to be doing. This is how it works. This is who he is. This is my role. This is his role. When I explained it, they had a little bit more understanding of it. But because we're Black people and the stigma behind like BDSM being white people shit, they didn't understand.
Do you find that when you're dating and you tell someone, like, do you normally have a preference with dating? Do you like, what do you see that you're like, can you talk about that?
Recently I've been dating this guy. We were just dating casually and we were talking about becoming exclusive.
No, like ethnicity I'm talking about.
Oh, he was white.
Okay.
And
do you find that you're dating more Black or white men or what?
There's
more white
I'm
people
in
in
New
the
York,
lifestyle.
I'm dating like a mixture of men, so like Black, white, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban. That's my
Have you
neighborhood.
have you had a conversation where you had to introduce your lifestyle?
I did, and it didn't go well. So I'm kind of afraid now because I'm like, I don't know how to approach men when we get to the conversation of sex. And I'm like, oh, I'm into this. Like, you can tie me up and choke me and blindfold me and gag me. And like, they're like, bitch, you into too much. I'm not with it. And that's what happened with the guy recently. Like, we had been dating for a while and he was like, I'm just not with it.
Were you already having sex?
No, we were going to get to that
yeah.
point. So I'm like, I should let you know in advance. This is what I'm into.
So do you suggest that for someone that is into some kinkier shit that, like, maybe if they start having sex, bring it up before the sex, or have vanilla sex, so to speak, and then bring up your kinks midway? Because when I meet someone,
She doesn't like to talk about sex.
I don't really
feel
think
like transparency is best. So at this point, I'm letting them know up front.
So like, I'm talking about, I like to have sex. It doesn't necessarily have to be BDSM. That's why I don't.
Same.
It's not like I don't
I'm
appreciate
the same.
transparency. I mean, I don't talk about communication on the show all day, every day for no reason. But I also feel like that BDSM part of me isn't necessary before sex. So that's why
it is.
Me too.
And is that because you can't?
I can get off, like, whether it's vanilla or if it's like a BDSM type
what do you
sexual.
mean with you two? What?
With me too. Like,
what
like
about?
as far as I just won't engage in sex with a guy.
No,
if
at
I know-
all.
If I know that he's not into the things I have, or he puts
like,
his nose up.
specifically-
With what I
pegging?
want. The pegging, being dom, role playing, like all of that different, all the things that I enjoy in the bedroom. If we're talking and we haven't had sex yet, and you're doing the whole nose up,
And that's exactly
and
what he
stuff like
did.
that,
I'm not even going to go
I'm
there
just
with
not
you.
even going to go there with
have
you.
a gauge
I'm not
now
going to
that
go
I
there
have
with you.
this podcast of like someone's opinion of non-vanilla sex. But I think that for me, the reason I haven't really been interested in telling is because I'm starting to be more open to the idea that not every sex partner will be in the same realm.
That's true.
Well,
So,
24/7 doesn't let me peg him, so I don't need every guy to be into that. But I also don't want to be with someone who's closed-minded.
I don't want to be sheltered.
To know where I
Yes.
don't have the option to. When I want that to happen, I don't want to. What if we date one day? What if we take this
But
further?
not everybody
and
can
I know,
be a that's the thing. Like, if I like someone and I want to sleep with them and they're fun in bed and they're sexy, but they just can't dominate me, then I don't want to never sleep with them again.
I want a nigga who could
feel
sub.
like it's
I want a guy who could
both. I'm
sub
sorry.
with me.
Yeah.
I like to. I
It's
like
a deal
to change.
breaker.
So
Right.
a lot of guys
It's
can
not
be
necessarily
dom,
one for me.
and I need someone to know that either A, I can open up down the line, and you're open to trying things.
Right.
So even if you tell me, nah, I ain't never did that shit, but you never know.
Right.
I'll take that over. Oh nah, bro, ain't nobody doing that. Like
I'm not saying
I
that
need
I
someone
would be
who's
that
more
way
open.
for
I'm with you.
someone that
need
I
that.
plan on being more serious with. But while I want to introduce like different sex partners in my life, I don't really have that right now, but I'm trying to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like I just can't write them all off if they ain't all done.
I had to write him off, like
Me too.
because I
So not
wanted to be
wasting time.
serious with him.
I know, but
And-
I don't need it every time.
Like if we're 6
I like to
months,
just get
8 months
fucked.
down the road, and I get in the mood, and I'm like, choke me, tie me up, spank me, spit on me, like, and he's like, I'm not with the shits. Now I've wasted 6
Right.
to 8 months, and I have like an emotional time invested in this man, and now I'm like,
well,
well, fuck,
yeah.
now I gotta
If
walk
you're
away.
getting emotional with someone, so I'm talking about I'm looking for just different sex partners, men
Oh, okay.
or
Yeah.
women,
Just
whatever.
a sex
I didn't
partner.
have that, but I'm really big on not having sex just to go through the motions.
True.
And I've said this often. Like,
Well,
I'm now
yeah,
at
but
a
good
time.
sex isn't necessarily just going through the motions. Like, you
Well-
could have good sex and not be touching a nigga booty hole.
But at the same time, I need to know like there's some level of sexual chemistry as well.
Right, but you
Absolutely.
just said with 24/7,
Right.
you're not doing anything anally.
But you have to be
Right.
sexually compatible.
But you
You're not
like
even
fucking
open
him.
to my
I
options.
do like fucking.
So that's
him.
what I'm
I don't
saying.
lick the
Same for
ass, his
me.
balls. So to me, I don't lick the ass. Goddamn it! Like that's like. But I enjoy being dominated by him. But that's in a switch aspect.
yeah.
And to me, I feel in control when I suck his dick. So to me, there's still
Right.
a level of sub dom because I feel completely in control when
And
his
that's
dick
all
is in my
mental
mouth.
You
too.
literally
because that's
hold
not
all the cards.
I
necessarily
literally hold all the cards.
a
And so-
dominant thing. For
Yeah,
a woman,
but
quote unquote.
even with me
but if
having
it makes you feel good, then
well,
that's,
he's not control. I literally do everything, and I'm like, "This is how you like." Like I know exactly.
Right.
I tell him even the direction I'm going. Like I'm going lower. It's not me asking or me.
You're
asking
telling.
you. I'm in charge.
And that's what you do as a dom.
Exactly right. And so when it comes to, but I'm saying even if you go to where you want multiple sex partners, to me, being as someone who's an advocate of casual sex, and I've had multiple sex partners
Yeah.
at any given moment in my life, I want those people who I'm having sex with to be sexually compatible. And
I
whatever
think that we can
I'm
all agree
having.
that I'm not going to fuck someone that I'm not sexually compatible with. But I will say that personally, maybe not for the both of you, but for me, I do not need to have dominating sex for it to be good. So I am perfectly fine with having someone that I fuck from time to time that can't be a dom. They could fuck the shit out of me and not DDLG
agree.
me.
You know what I mean?
But then
like,
what
my
if you
main
want
partner,
that from that person and they can't give it to
my
you?
main partner gives me everything I need.
See, that's
So-
that's what I haven't gotten that yet. That's what
Right.
I'm looking for.
Right.
Like then
So,
if
like, I
casual
am
comes
really
into
fulfilled,
the, like, yeah.
But like I just kind of like want to like switch it up, and so I'm cool with just like
That's because you have it consistently in your life
Right,
now.
right.
I don't have it consistent,
Right.
so it's like I don't want to like kind of gamble.
I
like
get that.
maybe I'll
Yeah,
get
I'm
it,
looking for
maybe
side
not.
niggas.
Yeah,
Agreed.
That's basically what I'm
Agreed.
looking for. Let's get to some home mail. Our first question is from Miss Anonymous. I like this question a lot. Over the last 2-3 years as a woman, I've had experience with escorts. It started as an exciting experience while at a university, but it progressed into a more occasional thing. I've been with about 4 or 5 each year and have enjoyed my experiences, usually going for girls that are down to earth, laid back, not the porn star trashy types. The problem is I'm worried I may be becoming too reliant for sexual experiences with escorts. And the question is if I should be putting that time and all caps money into finding a girl. It doesn't help that I'm kind of shy when approaching them. What are your opinions? Love the show, by the way. It's always great to get an understanding of how girls tick in the bedroom.
So it's a woman who's
That's a
been
good
paying for escorts, and now she wants a relationship, and she doesn't know how to have one.
Did
Is
she
that
say she wants a
basically-
relationship?
That's
she
what-
wants. She's basically saying she wants something
wa-
more
she
serious
wants something
now,
more
and she
serious.
doesn't want to pay for it, which
Yeah.
rightfully so.
Oh,
But
but she doesn't know how to go up to them.
Yeah.
So first thing, there's nothing wrong with you having the majority of your sexual experiences with an escort. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that, first of all, paying for sex means it's on your time.
Yeah.
So if you're not seeing anyone and the majority of your experiences are with, you paying for them, it is what it is. You're single.
right,
You know what I mean? Like, so unless you find someone, like approach them, then no. If you want to get fucked and you want to pay for it and you would like it,
Exactly.
I'll take them coins, sis. Come eat this pussy for some dollars. Shit, bitch.
click on the email.
Bitch, go ahead.
And you're in college too, you said, so I can understand why you probably not wanting to.
She using that
in
financial aid.
college.
She using financial aid on the pussy.
Bitch, it must
It's
be
like
some good
women
shit.
everywhere in college. It's women and men. Like it's like a buffet, just a free for all. Like
I know. Why are you paying?
So
how are you shy with random like everyday people,
Because
but
she's
you're
probably
not shy
getting,
with
No,
getting
but
them
it's a
online, though.
service.
It's a service.
So I was
you don't
gonna,
have to
speaking
do
of
that.
online, I was gonna say, if you don't know how to approach women, then start off slow with probably how you're finding the escorts going
Exactly.
online. There's Her, that's a lesbian app, and I think that would be a good way to start so that you don't have to go up to someone. The instant gratification of swiping left and right and being able to just talk that way, it's a lot more easy and a passive thing than going up to someone in a bar. So I would suggest online dating, sis, and like, I really hope it works out for you, but I want you to know there is nothing wrong with all your experiences being that way. I've been saying, like, if I go through a time where, like, I'm single again or something like that, I am like, I really want to pay for dick. I want to hire a fucking sex worker that is, like, meant to do this shit. I want to fucking go through a catalog of dicks, and I want to be like, yeah, so we're going to meet here.
not a catalog.
And this is how much, and it's
can't.
going to be overnight. Like, I really want it. I don't know what sense of power that's going to give me, but
the control.
because
You're
I feel
calling all
like,
the
yes,
shots.
you can get dick for free, but there is still something in that man that feels like he got you and nah, nigga.
Well, I know a whole lot of niggas that'll take some bread with their broke asses, and they broke, so you know they.
I want a
like
pro
good.
hoe.
Well, they broke niggas are
come
pro
on.
hoes. They get these broke niggas I know to
pro
move them in and all, so their dick is godly.
Like, how are
and
you
you can go ahead and
a
drop
bum?
some money because they need it.
The dick is godly.
They need the fucking money.
It'd be like the most well put together women that be going for like the bummiest
No,
niggas.
the
So like I
bummest
don't understand.
niggas, bro.
Like how are you pregnant by
Because
this
dick
man?
fine,
Oh my
because they
God.
have
That's
nothing else
it.
better to do but watch
They
porn
have
and protect their dick. God damn it.
The next homil we have is advice for this whore of a mother. Let me start by saying, I love you guys. I'm on episode 20. Anyways, I need some advice.
Girl, you got a long way to go, bitch.
Hope you still love us, but damn, how's she even going to get to the question?
Episode 20. Bitch, she gonna hear this shit next year.
I'm newly single. I left my ain't shit husband. Congrats. Let's give a round of applause for you leaving an ain't shit
Trash niggas.
Because a lot of bitches don't want to be alone.
True.
Long story short, I'm sexually attached to women, but I have never been with one. I was down for a threesome, but my ain't shit husband, damn, we really gonna call him that, had an affair on me with not one, but multiple women. How he got caught was he butt dialed me in the act. I left him. We were separated for a year until I took his sorry ass back. She cannot even talk about him without adding the adjective.
Sorry ass.
I love
Fuck
this.
Boy,
took his
shit.
sorry ass back 2 years ago. Because I wasn't with his ain't shit ass. I wasn't sexually attached to him, and I never got my nut unless I played with myself.
Damn.
I stopped sucking his
Them
dick.
type of niggas don't deserve
You ain't
threesomes.
shit.
Nah.
And you not making me
I stopped sucking his dick, and we went from having sex daily to once a month because I wasn't sexually attracted to him anymore. We have separated again, and this time we realize it's for good. Let me say, I'm sexy as fuck. I'm beautiful. I'm freak nasty in bed. I'm young, 28, mother of 4. And my question
Shit,
to
you
you,
spitting them out.
she was
28?
28 with 4. I mean, I guess.
I want to be pleased again. I have a lot of fetishes that I never did with my husband because I didn't trust him and he isn't loyal. I want to be with a girl, and I also want to have my first threesome, but where do I start? I've been married for 8 years with 4 children. How do I go back to my hoe ways after many years? Love the mother first, but whore second.
Are you a mom?
No.
I was,
No
why is he
children.
doing the mom questioning without a mom.
Because I think it's like still good to give advice. We don't have to be moms.
Yeah.
Like we don't always interview women that have kids. So like I don't know when we're gonna get to this, but I mean we all have friends with kids. You know what I mean?
True.
And I feel like
They say they
I
hoe.
I think that you have to get over, at least my whole friends with kids, you have to get over the complex of either feeling like men don't want you because you have kids,
Ooh, yes.
feeling like you're being wrong for fucking around and being a mom. I mean, you gotta. I mean, look at Amber Rose. Like she has a kid. I think
out
she's
here.
an awesome mom. I really
Yeah,
do.
she is.
I mean, I know we can't
Look how
judge.
smart Sebastian is.
We
I would
can't
want my
judge
own
from
sweet. So
Instagram,
cute.
but like,
So
damn,
cute.
she seems so dope, and they have such a cool relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, she's a self-proclaimed slut, and I don't know. I feel like if you just want sex, this is just me. we may be able to ask Dubs when she comes back on, but I don't really find like it's so necessary if you're just looking for sex to share so much detail. If you just want to get fucked,
Right.
why share everything about yourself if you feel like that's going to scare a motherfucker away? If it's just sex, I can't speak of dating, but you're talking about home.
Right.
And she seems confident. She says she's sexy as fuck and all that. So,
Like, bitch,
So
if
it's
you're
just getting out there.
Just get out there.
yeah.
You tell Day Day Baby, Keke, and
Keke,
all of them,
do
get
you
to
love
the
me?
babysitter bitch and get you some dick. Like
That's
if-
it.
You know, I think even for like being so hurt over a relationship so long, like if
8 years
sex
is a
is
long
really
time.
what you
And
want,
it was
like
a
maybe you don't even
marriage.
need dating right now.
Yeah.
Just get fucked. Like you don't need to tell them niggas about your
Like, get you a dude, get you a girl. Like,
how many men
Finesse
have
it.
I don't know if this has happened to y'all, but I've been with men or been on a few dates and found out they had kids way later than I thought.
it was always, I
I
was,
was
told
like,
up
what?
front.
You had kids?
Yeah.
I was always told up front.
If niggas
Nah.
can do it, you can do it too. That's all I'm saying.
agree.
And I think she mentioned then there's something to wanting a threesome. Wanting
Find
to
a
experience
couple.
with a woman. I I think maybe the couple would be the route
That
to
would
go
be
with
perfect.
that.
Look,
And
Dubs,
maybe
the
she joins
unicorn
in
we
as
had
the
on has a
unicorn.
son.
And if you can actually go on Tinder, Hinge, like there's so many apps now, but there's so many couples now openly looking for a
Yes. It is so
So
many.
to me, that would be the easier route to go is for you to join a couple. Now that you're single, you can come in as someone who may not be looking for that emotional attachment.
Right.
Since you just got out of an 8-year relationship, and go ahead and maybe try being a third in a couple. And they can do like what Weezy said, like they can take you out on a date. You
And
can
they
feel,
probably pay for the babysitter. bitch.
yeah, look, all of that. So
good.
But
look
seriously
online.
though, Dub, if you probably have heard the episode, I think it was 17.
17,
She's a unicorn with a kid, and like she be telling me like she will schedule things with the couples, let them know like, hey, I have my son, blah blah blah. I mean, and you can get treated to all of the things you want without the sexual attachment. And frankly,
Right.
I hate to say it like this, it sounds really fucked up, but I feel like unicorns are, as they are, harder to find, whereas a single man might try to be picky about them kids.
Absolutely.
And a couple's gonna be like, hey, it's not gonna be long term anyway. Like, I don't give a fuck. You're
Right.
fucking hot.
But a unicorn
When are we going to find
situation
another
can
single
also
woman
be
that's
long-term.
into both?
You can, yeah.
So
Right.
if you're not looking to delve into another relationship or anything like that, like this could be an option for you. So I think that, again, try the dating apps, try maybe couples, go, try about it that way. I think actually we gave her solid advice.
Yeah.
So
Told you.
before we get out of
God, I
here,
hope
go
we're not
ahead
pregnant.
and let our listeners know again where they can find you, where they can reach you, and maybe where they can talk to you more about their kinks.
My podcast and all of my handles is Kinks with Keke. That is Keke.
We all know how to spell Keke now, girl.
Well, look, some people spell it Kiki. You never know.
They wrong. Come on now.
If you want to email me, you can email me at kinkswithkiki@gmail.com. Ask me questions. If you want to know things about me, I'm pretty sure I'll be posting some more perv shit later. So if you have any questions, concerns, definitely reach out to me.
And if
You
you
have a great Insta page. I really like it. And it's funny because every time I'm on the Horrible Decisions feed, whenever I see something I like, it's from Kings with Kings.
Yeah, so it's really dope. But not only that, guys, if there was something in this episode that maybe you related to, that maybe we didn't ask a question about, go ahead and hit Keke up. She's
Absolutely.
very
She will
active on
love
social
you.
media. She
She
was
will
just on my live
love
this
you
morning.
from beside
I'm like, hey,
you.
Keke. And again, thank you guys for everyone who's who's patrons and supporting this show. Again, we're trying to, give you guys content, give you guys dialogue and conversations to talk about. Before we go, I do want to give a huge shout out to Lovers Quarrel, to Grassroots Podcast, to Black Girls Texting, to Shit Talk, like all of the podcasts that I was on in the last month or so. I hope you guys enjoyed my interviews with them, as well as Sophisticated Ignorance. Again, if you guys are looking for more podcasts to tune into, Weezy was also just on, what was it, Bad Mothers?
Good Moms, Bad Choices.
There you go.
That is Good Moms, Bad Choices.
There you go.
By the way, one of the girls on that episode tells a story about how she got paid to fuck and they get in jail for the first time and had to fuck in a car, and it was so good.
So again, me and Weezy have been guests on other podcasts. So again, if you feel like you listening to us only one time a week is not good, and maybe you don't have the coins to become a patron yet, just search Horrible Decisions, and we have been guests on quite a few other podcasts. So again, shout out to those people. Shout out to everyone creating podcasts. Also, one last shout out. Unspoken Conversations, my bad. Unspoken Conversations. Shout out to you for shouting us out and bringing us up on the Breakfast Club. That is the #1 radio show in the fucking country.
And
shout out for
That's
Charlamagne.
a lot of love.
Yes.
If you call a radio station to
pub
promote your own
show.
shit, and then Charlamagne's like, oh, yeah. Oh, and by the way, Whoreible Decisions.
It's the shit. Like,
fun.
it's super dope. And I appreciate you we know the podcast community becomes kind of like a family, and we all are just trying to, make ourselves a name. So we appreciate all of the support that we've gotten from other podcasts, other radio personalities, and of course the love on social media. So thank you guys so much for doing that. And thank you for Keke for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And again, this has been yet another episode of Whoreible Decisions. Bye.
Bye.